Okay, today's video we are talking about the Hunter Tempest Strike. It got buffed recently, as in literally today. We're making this video. Damage now correctly procs combination blow. There are some issues with this, which we will talk about in a second. But first, we're going to show you the full power version of it. Then we'll talk about some of the issues and talk about how we set it up. Obviously, we'll do the setup first, but we'll show it off. So we're going to simply show off exactly what we're doing here. We are going to add 1-2 punch to the build because obviously that matters. Because that's increased damage. There was no exotics on because sadly Liar's Handshake does not work with this. We will start with that right now. We are going to kill this guy. We are going to punch this guy normally. He's going to punch me. I'm going to 1-2 punch. Uppercut. We do 1,481 damage and then 30 damage jolt. 1,481 damage plus 30 equals 1,511 damage. That's crazy for literally no setup. As you see, it took me no time at all to do that. Now, what are the issues with this? We'll get to in a second. A little tease there. We're going to talk about the build first. I'm just teasing you. So here's the build to make this an absolute monster damage. And by the way, this is only slightly worse than Prismatic. And also, Prismatic is a lot better at the same time, which we'll get in that in a minute as well. First, we're going to talk about this. So the build we're running is Gambler's Dodge, obviously, so that we get our melee ability back quicker. Make sure you're running, I believe it's above, it's either 60-something or 70-something melee you have to run to be able to get your ability back quicker. Obviously, you really should push to 200 melee to get this to its fullest power, but we're doing this at base just to show it off. We run triple jump. Doesn't really matter though. Run whatever jump you want. We're running combination blow. Every time we get a melee kill that's charged, it gives us a class ability back, which is awesome as long as you're running high enough class ability energy, which again is like 60, 70, somewhere in there. We're running skip grenade, which doesn't matter in this build at the moment. We're running Tempest Strike, which is what got buffed. We are running Flow State. And the reason we are running Flow State is because, as we'll show here now, unfortunately, as you see, we have no combination blow. We do that, and as you see, no combination blow was given. You might be thinking, oh, well, it's just, you know, not showing, but it legit doesn't show. Unfortunately, you cannot increase your combination blow stacks. I got ×1 now. Give it a second to show it. As you see, I cannot increase combination blow ×2. It is a big problem. This should not be an issue. It also, as you saw, does not give our dodge back, period, which really sucks. So that is very unfortunate. But what do you expect? This is Bungie. Those are some of the issues that we will get more into in a second. But as you see, it does not work. So that is why we are using Flow State. Flow State states, defeating a jolted target makes you amplified. While you are amplified, your dodge recharges more quickly. You are more resilient while dodging, and your reload speed is greatly increased. This resilience stacks with amplified. The damage reduction you get from Flow State does stack with amplified. Do not know if that's a bug or if that's intentional, but they do stack, and it is nice. The fragments we are running: Spark of Resistance. We're running Spark of Recharge, Spark of Feedback, and Spark of Focus. The reason we are using Spark of Resistance is when there's a lot of combatants around us, makes you resistant to incoming damage. This stacks with Flow State and Amplified, so more damage resist. We've got Spark of Recharge. While critically wounded, your melee and grenade recharge more quickly. That's awesome. We love that. That's useful because we're trying to get as many melees as we can off. And grenades is nice anyways. You know, you throw a grenade, you have some sort of grenade build, you throw it too. You taking Spark of Feedback is for taking melee damage, briefly increases your outgoing melee damage. That is just cracked. That is why we got the meleeed the guy and he meleeed me back. That's why we did so much damage. And increased your damage by quite a bit. Spark of Focus, after sprinting for a short time, your class ability regeneration is increased. You have speed, you have amplified, you can easily get speed quicker, you can run around, sprint around more. Obviously you want your class ability back quicker. So yeah, but as you see here, the reason we did this is if I melee this guy normally, I do 49 damage. If I melee him here in 49, if he melees me, I run forward, I now do 98. It doubles the damage, more than doubles the damage, which, if you stack that with the uppercut, which is Tempest Strike, it counts as increased damage as well. That's why we did that. That's what gives us 1,511 damage total. Again, that damage is a lot higher if you stack your melee all the way up to 200. It could be a lot higher. Fortunately, I do not have that ability to do that, or do the ability to show 100 or 200 grenade off. Grenade does give you more of a bonus for damage increase than melee, which is why Prismatic is technically better. But at the same time, I have no build. I'm dropping this much damage. I have no exotics on at all for damage for melee, because sadly there is none that work. Liar's Handshake does not work. Bungie, please fix. So that's the part we're going to talk about now, is Liar's Handshake should be working with this. It does not, because the fact that this thing right here, this feedback, literally requires you to take melee damage to proc more damage, and it works, and yet for some reason, Liar's Handshake does not work, is ridiculous. Also, the fact Combination Blow does not increase you do not increase your stacks or gain any stacks while doing Tempest Strike is a horrible system. The first hit on an ad is actual melee damage. It counts as real melee damage. So I do not know why it is not gaining the ability to gain combination stacks. It is getting the damage bonus from Combination Blow stacks, but it's not getting the stacks increased when you use it or resetting the timer. I think that's a horrible system that should be changed. Bungie, please change that, because then I could change the build up to like Ascension, or I could use something else. I mean, Ascension's honestly the only thing really worth using, truthfully, here. But at the same time, Flow State's not bad, because you do get double damage reduction because of Amplified, and that is pretty nice. So you get Amplified plus the dodge makes you resilient, so it is kind of nice. So it does kind of work well that way. But as a whole, it should be increasing the stacks when you get kills with it, and it should also be giving back your dodge when you get kills with that melee. Obviously, all the little ads that die to the jolt effect shouldn't count, but the actual ad that dies, the original ad that dies, if there's an ad that dies to the Tempest Strike itself, should be giving your dodge back. I do not know why Bungie won't do that. I don't know if it's just a bug. Maybe that's what they wanted. It just didn't fully send out. I don't know. But this is ridiculous, because it takes no setup, and I'm doing this much damage. And again, you run these builds, the setup, you can easily get your dodge back very quickly, and then when you dodge, you get your melee guaranteed, and you can get 2 to 3 of these melees off within a couple seconds. And that's pretty damn nutty for a damage phase. Combination Blow lasts for 15 seconds, you can get 2 or 3 of them off easily, and you can keep proccing it if you're good at it. So, pretty nutty of a system, if you ask me. If you build it right, you build your stats to like 100, especially if you can get them to 100. That alone will just give you your abilities back guaranteed every time and very quickly, because this will increase your stats and it will stack with it. And then, obviously, if you get your melee over 100, and you can stack your damage even higher than this, which is crazy. The good news is, though, this does allow you to build more into like a grenade build if you want to build some sort of grenade damage build or grenade ad clear build or something. Or you can build super damage just so you get more super. You know, just nuke things with super even quicker. That way you've got super, like Gathering Storm, doing damage to the boss. You've got your melee doing damage to the boss. That's doing ridiculous damage. As a whole, this build is better. Now, Prismatic, everyone showed the build and stuff. Everyone makes videos on it. I know it's broken. But, hear me out. The reason it's technically better with Arc is because I have to have Symphoceps procced. I have to have ×3 combination blow. I have to have grapple melee. I have to make sure I go invis and then grapple right after I go invis, which isn't hard technically, but it is a lot. Think about all that effort I just did to do damage, and you only get 1 damage shot, because you're not going to have it back unless you go kill some ads or have high regen, and even then, it's going to be like a one-time thing. And then again, combination blow does damage, but it doesn't do a lot of damage. So when you do use your grapple melee, even if you got the invis off that does ridiculous damage, which is nice, your next shot for melee ain't going to be that much. And I did the testing for, and the grapple melee does does slightly more damage. It does 52 damage versus the 1,552 damage versus the 1,511 damage we were doing with the melee, the normal melee with the uppercut. So do the math there. That's not a huge difference. Now, mind you, again, though, grapple, because it is a grenade or melee, you can combo and focus one of them. The grenade goes up to like 65 at 200, so it is a lot more. So yes, Prismatic technically is better. But that's with all the setup. Whereas the Arc one, I just punch 3 ads, dodge, uppercut a guy with 1 shotgun shot, with 1-2 punch or hand cannon 1-2 punch, which is what we're using in here. And what we always use now, because it's just so good, it's so convenient. We're doing ridiculous damage. Ridiculous damage. And because I have flow state, I'm getting my dodge back super quick, which means I can get another one off. And if I have critically wounded, I get my melee back super quick. And if I have high stat melee, or max stat melee, I get it back very quickly, which means I can throw off a few of these each damage phase like it's nothing. Which is absolutely crazy. And we're going to show that off here. we're going to show off what it looks like with just 100 melee. Nothing, we're not going to go for the damage increase. We'll get the damage increase a little bit here because we're going to try to, you know, increase it a bit. So we're going to get a damage increase, slight damage increase here. Actually, it says 0%, so I guess we're not getting any. It'll probably be like 1% or something, but it's not going to show it there, but whatever. We'll still just show off how technically good this is. So we're going to reset the ads completely. We're going to reset the champion. Just because we can. We're going to activate them. There we go. We're going to go boop. We're going to go boop. We're going to go boop. And then we're going to go boop. And then we're going to go uppercut. We're doing this on purpose. Look at my abilities come back quicker. I can just do that. Look at that. We've got it again. And it's the base bit. I can have my class ability even quicker. I can have my class ability even quicker. I just dodged there when I didn't need to. It's that simple. Obviously, I'm not doing the best showing of it, but it's just an ideal. It's a general ideal. Obviously, if I had more class ability, that would have helped a little bit there too. I'm only at 67 at the moment, but I can get that even quicker. And you can run mods on top of this that give you your abilities back quicker. Like when I do melee damage, it gives me my dodge. Grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a powered melee attack. Simple as that. Put a couple of those on, get that. Then you can run the dodge, it gives you melee. Well, you don't really need to run that, but you can run it where orbs give you abilities back. You could run the melees that give you orb generation. So, your powered melee final blows create orbs of power. You know, you could run that. That way you get orbs as well. You could run a whole bunch of stuff. There's so many options to run, it's crazy. Gain bonus energy on super kills. Or, sorry, melee. Or, yeah, super energy on melee kills. That would work well, so you get your super back constantly. Let's see. We did Gauntlet. I think Chest Piece has something, maybe? Or not? No, Chest Piece, no. Okay. Boots? Boots have something, right? Yeah, you can get your abilities back quicker. Reduce grenade cooldown. Reduces melee cooldown each time you pick up an orb of power. You're creating orbs because you're meleeing. You're dodging because you have Reaper on. If you build into this build, it is way better by a mile than Prismatic because it's easier to proc, easier to have your abilities back constantly. It's just easier as a whole. Why would you waste your time with Prismatic? When you, yes, it's nice, but you have to build into it a lot. Whereas this, yeah, I build in the mods, but these mods you should already have on your gear, even if you're running Prismatic. So those mods automatically are just perfect. They work. And then you run the fragments on here that help you out. You run the aspects, and you're a tank. There's multiple ways of being a tank, and you can clear ads like crazy. Is Prismatic technically better? Yes. Is Arc easier and more efficient and more consistent, easier to stack and keep it going? 100%. If Bungie makes simple buffs to this, this will be the best damage class in the game for Hunter by a mile. So hopefully Bungie makes it where Tempest Strike activates combination blows damage as well as resets the Gambler's Dodge. If they do that, this will be the best class ever, and it doesn't matter. It's hands down. So, Arc Hunters just got a crazy buff. With a simple buff, this thing has become a monster. Bungie, please make the buff actually finished, because in my opinion, it's not finished yet. Anyways, I know I've ranted on a lot and stuff, but I made my point. This thing is crazy good. I'm very happy for this thing. By far, Prismatic is technically better by a good margin, yes, but it's so much easier to proc Arc Shredder. It's free for everyone. You don't have to go do tons of stuff. You can get all these aspects and fragments very easily. They only cost Glimmer. By a mile, Arc Hunter, Arc is better. Arc Hunter is a mile better in my opinion. Arc Shredder got a buff. This buff is crazy. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment what you think. Thanks for watching. Adios. We gone. Bye.